What's up, comic book fans? This is Mark, and this is another Comic Crazy review for the second week of May of 2010. I have 4 comics to talk about this week. I was going to get another 2, which were Birds of Prey, number 1, and also Villains for Hire, one shot. Both Brightest tie-ins, but they were sold out, so I got to get them later on this week. And when I do, I'll put them on the website, comiccrazyreviews.website.com. Check out the website, please. Anyway. So let's get on to these comics. I'm going to try to do these really quickly because I have other things I have to do, but I'm going to do this as fast as I can. Speaking of fast, Flash number 2. This comic wasn't as good as the last one. The last one was the comic of the week when it came out. It even gave you a Flash ring. I would say there's 3 major things that hurt this comic. 1, the pacing. It's slow. It feels slow, and I don't know if it's because nothing really interesting is going on. It just felt like it could have been done in a shorter amount of time and they could have added more cool things to it. 2, the ending didn't shock me. Usually with Jeff Johns, he leaves a really good cliffhanger. And this one, really, it's a cliffhanger, it's just not really that great. But the major thing that hurts it, unlike the first issue, which I felt like I was having a cinematic experience with an action movie involving the Flash. This one, it just felt like I was reading a comic book. That's why I have to give this a 7 out of 10. Not a horrible comic, but not as good as the last one. Batman: Return of Bruce Wayne, number 1 of 6. 6-part series. Getting Bruce Wayne back into the normal time stream, I guess. And I know I'm going to get some shit for this, but this wasn't that great. This was, once again, just average. And the only reason why it's a little higher than Flash 2 is because Bruce Wayne's in it. We haven't seen Bruce Wayne in actual DC continuity for like a year and a couple months. So to see him back in there was exciting. The story, however, was not. To give you a rough cut, and I don't even feel like I'm spoiling it, Bruce Wayne's in caveman time. He gets captured by cavemen. He dresses up like this guy, and he goes to another time at the end. Oh. And other heroes are involved in this too. And Superman says, if Batman does this by himself and comes back through time by himself, everyone will die. I just gave you the entire thing, and I even dragged it out a little bit in like a minute. So, yeah, 7.5 out of 10. Just for nostalgic reasons, Bruce Wayne's coming back. Maybe the Return of Captain America kind of hurt that too, because, I mean, it's the same concept, it's a little more flattened. I don't know. The next comic I'm going to be talking about is Brightest tie-in. Justice League, Generation Lost. This has to deal with Maxwell Lord coming back, and some Justice League International members, which was the Justice League in the 90s, Booster Gold, Fire and Ice, and Captain Atom. I was going to buy this because it's another weekly comic from DC, but wow, I was wrong because this was great. This was awesome. This almost was the comic of the week. No doubt. I can't wait for this series because not only do we get awesome dialogue between Booster Gold and Maxwell Lord, I'm not spoiling anything after that. We find out what Maxwell Lord was doing in Brightest Day issue 0 with the blood and him going into the ice and what have you. We find out what he did, and wow, this is major. Seeing that Maxwell Lord is probably one of the biggest villains in DC history, this is big. And I don't know where they're going to go from here, but I can't wait because thanks, DC, you got me hooked on another bi-weekly, you bastards. I have to give this a 9 out of 10. Now for the comic of the week, and I'm going to keep this review short because I feel like I'm going to spoil this. I don't want to. But I'm going to be talking about SEIGE number 4, which is the comic of the week. And no, it's not because I got a lot of shit for not having SEIGE, the comic of the week, the other times that it came out. But those weeks, other comics were better. This week, this was the best comic. I don't want to say that much, because if I do, it's going to spoil it. And I don't want to do that. I really don't want to spoil this comic. I'll just say what I didn't like about it. And the only thing I didn't like about it, it felt like when the conclusion happened, it needed one more page. If they at least gave us a spread out, like a 2-page spread of the actual conclusion of the battle, maybe I would have given this a 10 out of 10. But other than that, this was awesome. I haven't felt this great about a comic ever since Brightest Day issue 8. It ended really well, and unlike other events in Marvel, let's say Secret Invasion, we're not left with a threat. We're left with a situation, an interesting one that you want to read more about. I can't wait for Heroic Age, and wow, this is just a great comic. 9.5 out of 10. And not to spoil anything, but there's a death in there that you don't frickin' see coming. I mean, maybe some people did, but I didn't. So those are all the comic book reviews this week. Check me out on comiccrazyreviews.webs.com. You can see my run reviews, Blue Goblin's run reviews, Box and Type X's toy reviews, and much, much more. Also, please subscribe to this channel. It shows that I'm doing a good job and I'm not wasting my time showing you these comics and reviewing them. But hey. And as I always say, I will see you guys next week. And keep reading those comics. Peace.